Hello everyone, this is Kirya Does Things. I'm Kirya and today we're going to talk about F1 Fantasy. Specifically, let's see the results of Australia, the Australian Grand Prix, and we will talk a little bit about what the plan is for Japan. Today is Friday and Japan qualifying is going to happen tomorrow early in the morning for me. So let's see first of all how did we do in Australia. As you can see, I scored a very good 230 points, which is the most I have scored in a single race so far. And I did very well mainly because I didn't have Verstappen in my lineup, as you probably already know. Verstappen had a DNF in the previous race, which was unexpected, and I don't really think it's something that is going to happen again. It's not a problem that is going to persist in the season. I don't think so. So anyway, let's see how did we manage to score a lot of these points. Obviously, most of them came from Ferrari, who gave us an extremely good 92 points with all of these, first of all the 1-2 finish, and then all of the other ways that they got points, fastest lap as well, some fast pit stops and all that good stuff. The other constructor was Red Bull, who of course had one DNF, but still they, even though they had a minus 20, they still gave us pretty good points, 32 points overall. They did have the fastest pit stop as well, so the general idea that I had in the first weekend was pretty good, that these two teams are going to get most of the fastest pit stop points. Other than that, let's see the drivers, and first of all Charles Leclerc with the 2 times score. Obviously he did very well. He had the fastest lap again, which is very strong, 10 points for a fastest lap, and I think he was pretty close to Carlos Sainz. I think Sainz had a little bit more points, but still it was pretty close because of the fastest lap of Charles. 38 points times 2, it's 76. Pretty much Ferrari and Charles together, only these two assets gave me almost 170 points out of the 230. The rest of it was Red Bull, and then Stroll did well enough, avoiding all the drama and getting some decent points from 9th to 6th, some overtakes and some positions gained. 16 points is really good. Then we had Kevin Magnussen, who is performing very well in F1 Fantasy terms. Third time in a row that he scores above 5 points. I think he has something like 788 or 778. Pretty reliable guy to get in F1 Fantasy, because he tends to get some positions in races, and he's not exceptional in qualifying. Same thing happens to Guan Yu Zhou. I'm sorry if I'm saying the name incorrectly, but anyway, he got 4 points, which is alright, I guess. Sauber continues to do terribly with their pit stops, which is a big issue right here, and Bottas only got 2 points as well, less points than Joe because of a better qualifying pretty much. So that was my team. I did very well, 230. And before we check out what changes we can make, let's see here. I am now 42,756th in the world, which is much better than it was before Australia. We did really well, and we capitalized mainly on the Verstappen DNF. So a lot of people that had Verstappen and Red Bull, it was way worse than us. Obviously, even though I did have Red Bull for Australia, it was better for me for Verstappen to DNF, both because a lot of I think it's around 50%, maybe more, have Verstappen and Red Bull. So these guys are going to suffer more than me, and a lot of other people have Red Bull anyway, so worst case scenario, it's pretty equal for everyone. And other than that, my other assets especially the Ferrari and Charles part, got a lot of points because of the DNF. So in general, the DNF helped us. That's what I'm trying to say. And if someone actually had Verstappen, he would have given Verstappen the 2 times, which was would have been even worse considering the DNF. So we got a lot of positions in the Global League. In Greece, I am 275th. We are probably going to continue to get better. I am hoping for a top 10 finish in Greece this season as well. In general, we're doing well enough after the first 3 races. Okay, so that was Australia and a little bit of my positions. Let's see now what can we do for Japan tomorrow. Now, one thing to have in mind is that rain is probable for either Saturday or Sunday. I'm not really sure about the weather forecast right now, but there is definitely a significant chance of rain. So I'm not sure how that would affect our picks, because some drivers are considered better in the rain than some others, but it's rain is way more chaotic to predict, so maybe we don't really take it into consideration that much. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet on a final team. I should decide soon. But the thing that we can actually do for the first time this season is to get Verstappen, Red Bull, Ferrari, which was the dream scenario from the start, and now we can do it. The issue is that I have to get rid of Stroll, which okay, but I have to get Logan Sargent in his place. So if we do that, let's try it. Let's try doing this and this. So I can get Verstappen, but I have to get Sargent, so we will have the 3 cheapest assets and then Magnussen here. So we can do that. We have barely enough cost cap to do that, which is great. However, I am a little bit scared of these cars maybe DNFing Sargent, maybe DNFing, maybe he will not even take part in the race because he crashed again in FP1, and Williams only have the 2 chassis, as we discussed previously in some other videos and episodes. So I'm not really feeling comfortable with having all of these bad drivers. Sauber is still terrible. In general, they are doing horribly with pit stops, which is really bad for F1 Fantasy because they are pretty bad in quali, but they are losing positions most of the times because of these pit stops. Out of these 5, I'm only confident. Out of these 4, I'm sorry. Except Verstappen, I am pretty confident on Magnussen to keep giving us some decent points. And then, Verstappen is Verstappen. The other issue with this is that we only have 1 out of the good cars, only a Red Bull, which is probably going to be a win and maybe a fastest lap. Verstappen doesn't get a lot of Driver of the Day awards though, which is a little bit of a problem. And if something happens to Verstappen for some reason, we are 100% screwed. So if I go with this lineup, which is very probable, I think it's if you want to try to fight for the best positions, it's probably even though it's a little bit risky, it's your best chance to do that. But if we do that, we have to assume that Verstappen will dominate the rest of the season, which is probably what is going to happen, but you never know. A DNF might happen again for some reason. Maybe Ferrari starts winning some races soon, I don't know. But this is the one that I have in mind, my first choice. The other choice is to get back into this position. Let's get back to what we had in Australia, which was this team. And then maybe improve one of the Sauber assets, because I'm not happy with either of them. The thing is, I was thinking that it's pretty weird that Bottas is 0.9 million right now lower price than Zhou. The thing is, as I understand the way that the prices are changing after every race, it doesn't matter that Bottas has less value right now. It's not going to get increased by more if they perform equally. So if in this race Zhou scores 10 points in F1 Fantasy, 10 points, and Bottas also scores 10 points, they are going to have the same increase in value. And so what I'm trying to say is Bottas is not more worth because he will get more value to our team. That was one of the reasons that I had in mind to keep him there. And obviously I think he is a better driver than Zhou. However, if he qualifies better and then Sauber do Sauber things and destroy their races with pit stops, it's more worth to keep Zhou. So if I keep Charles, maybe I go for Carlos, maybe even for Checo. But to be honest, if I go for Checo instead of Leclerc, I might as well go for Verstappen. If I think Red Bull is clear and Perez will be in second place easily, I don't see a reason of not going for Verstappen. So if we don't go for Verstappen, we are betting on something maybe slightly crazy happen, and maybe Ferrari challenges, or at least the Ferrari boys are second. I pick the one that finishes second. That's what I'm trying to say. And then we can say, okay, let's get rid of, I don't know, like Bottas, and get Hülkenberg, who also scores decent amount of points this season, because Haas is pretty decent. Or maybe an RB who seem to have found some decent race pace as well that they lacked in the previous races. So the other options are these. Now, if we assume that I keep one of the Ferraris here, the debate is again Charles versus Sainz. Sainz is doing an incredible job. I still believe a little bit more on Leclerc, but that's maybe just my bias, because I want to see him do well and challenge for the championship. That's a conversation for a different video, I guess. But so if I have to choose between the two Ferraris, I'm probably going to choose Leclerc. However, I'm thinking that I will probably go for the Verstappen route. And what happened was, because of Verstappen got a DNF in Australia, his value, as you can see, plummeted 0.7 million, which is pretty huge, and I don't think he will be that cheap again. So if we don't get Verstappen now and something goes horribly wrong with my drivers and I lose value, then it may be even it may not even be possible to get him for the next race, which would be pretty bad. If I get him now, it doesn't matter what happens with the values, I will still be able to have him. So I don't know, these are pretty much the two options. Either go for Verstappen and Sargent, because we don't have a choice, or we do have some choices, some flexibility to go for some one of the Ferraris, maybe even Perez, I don't think so, and then probably keep Stroll and improve one of the other two assets, one of the Saubers. Obviously the constructors are not changing, that's like, it's not even a question. There is like completely zero reason to change any of these constructors. They are the two best cars quite comfortably, and they, if everything is normal in the race, they will get probably like top 4 finishing positions. and even maybe in quali. So, and plus the fast pit stops, as I have mentioned a lot of times before, and it's really not worth to get anyone else, because other than Red Bull and Ferrari, the third fastest team right now is McLaren, who is more expensive than Ferrari, and by a significant margin as well, and they even got more expensive after the previous round. In general, the prices are going up and not down, so most of them are improving, and if someone has a bad race, maybe their value decreases, but it's like 0.1, 0.3, maximum 0.2. Okay, Verstappen had a 0.7, and then the Mercedes boys that DNF'd had a 0.5 because they are valued more than the rest. But in general, if you add up all the increases and the decreases, in a general way, the values are increasing. So my point is that really there is no reason to go either McLaren or Lando or Piastri or anyone else like that. So that leaves us only these two options. I'm probably going for this, but I'm not locking it in right now, and I will think about it probably until the last second. I want to see the results from FP3 also before making a decision, because FP2 was not representative. They had rain, it was rain affected, practice 2, so we don't really have a lot of data and information to maybe see some team potentially doing better or worse, and something like that to base a strategy on. So I don't really know a lot of information about Japan right now. So anyway, this is that was this video. I hope you liked it. Like and subscribe, obviously, it helps a lot, and we will talk about the Japanese Grand Prix at some point during the next week. I'm going to give you the drivers on the other video series. Okay, so that's it for me for today. Hope you liked it, and we will talk later. Bye.